Pencils down. That's it.
Drop 'em,
Right there.
drop 'em.
See?
Pencils.
Down. Right there. Boom.
Pens, pencils,
On the
scissors.
ground.
If you have a pair of scissors, drop them.
Down.
Damn.
Down. Get rid of all that shit because it's time to ramble like men. Like men.
Like alphas.
Alpha's ramble, bros. Was fucking alpha ramble, bro. It's an alpha ramble, bro. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm good.
That's good to hear, man. Yeah, man. Doing good. Ready, rocking, rolling, hoochie, and cooeying. A whole lot of both. Whole lot of a lot of it today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we do?
All sides. It's coming at you from all sides.
What else can we do? It's all sides of this shit. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
I mean, my God, it's life, isn't it?
Really plugged in. We're real plugged in right now.
We're very plugged in. But we're
a lot of synergy happening.
A lot of amazing things. Now, look, it's again you and I, and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
We
know.
Again. Well, do you think he was a leaker? Do you think Cody leaked these fucking the Jenna Ellis and the Sidney Powell? I mean, as Cody would call them, rats.
Right.
Do you think he did?
I don't know anymore with him. Like I don't
know. Because somebody sadly told me we don't know who's behind the curtain in Trump land, and I didn't want to say anything, but like we know.
I think we have an idea.
Oh, we know. We know.
I mean,
we know.
Cody hasn't been on the ramble one time in the last month
and a half. And this is when all the shit's going down in Trump land. We know who's behind the curtain. Thank you very much. We know. We fucking know. I don't know what's gonna happen. By the way, got an email. I don't know, Eddie. What? And I'm not trying to knock Brian Hill, aka Seahawks fan 87.
Sure.
But is this legit? Good game, Eddie. Came down to the wire. Much respect from Seahawks fan 87. Or is that subtle shit talking?
No. See, I've had the pleasure of meeting Brian Hill one time. He
ain't no shit talker. He's being sincere.
He's a solid dude. I think that was a pure good game. Good game.
Good for Brian.
Good game.
Good game. And then did you
that being said, if Washington had an average defense, just an average defense, we'd probably be 7-3 or 6-4.
Well, that guy Chase Young is pretty good that y'all have. Oh wait, why did you get rid of him?
Because he wasn't good, and we weren't going to re-sign him.
Yeah,
he was going to cost $25 to $28 million.
So was he just like a rookie year wonder? Was that kind of his thing?
He could still be good. Who knows? He just wasn't. I don't think that staff liked him, and
so
there's nothing you're going to do about it.
Jack Del Rio still needs to fuck off.
Good old J6 Jack. My buddy. Only in the NFL, only in football can you suck at what you're doing and continue to be employed.
Only.
And then once you get fired, like Jimbo Fisher over at Texas A&M, still get paid out
$77 million to suck. NFL's it because like if you suck in basketball, best case scenario, you're making what, $40,000 a year in Greece? You know what I mean? Like that's your, if you really suck at basketball.
But to literally go somewhere, get a job, eat ass at it. Eat so much.
Eat ass like
your
one
contract
of these millennials who thinks they're interesting because they eat ass and they brag about it.
Josh McDaniel with the Raiders. He's going to get what, 12, 15? How many more million?
And he'll probably get another job. That's what's even more insane.
John Gruden is still being paid on his 10-year, $100 million contract.
For what? What did he do to him? Zippo. He was fucking up. Oh God, it's just
crazy. And then you get NFL players who go out there, right?
Yeah.
And they don't get guaranteed contracts, and they're putting their bodies on the line.
That's why. Look, as much as I'm against, if I owned, only because if I look at this, if I owned a team, there's no fucking way I pay these quarterbacks what they're getting paid. But I ain't mad at them. Go do it. Go get your money. Go get it all right now.
At the same time, should the coaches be getting guaranteed contracts? Shouldn't be like, 2 years and you've won me 3 games in 2 years. You're fired. I'm not paying you anymore.
Yeah, I'm not paying you shit. Get the fuck out of here.
That's crazy.
Football is the only profession on the planet where you can really suck and just still make a lot of money and still convince someone else that you don't suck, even though they have loads of evidence that you do suck.
Or comedy.
Yep. Or comedy. Stand-up comedy.
Football and comedy.
Football. That's the only two.
You can absolutely suck. You can be trash
one of the
at comedy.
Absolute garbage, and people
somehow convince everybody you're good.
Yep, that you're funny. It's insane. Okay, I guess. By the way, Anthony Too Cool for School Flores. Did he have a good one. He with his Ravona Renslayer is a Kang variant, right?
That's pretty tight.
That's the secret Miss Minutes told her she wouldn't be happy to hear. Remember when Miss Minutes was like, I got something else I ain't gonna make you happy. Remember that?
Yeah.
I wonder if she told her, hey, by the way, you're on equal footing with this guy, but he wiped your memory. I wonder. He also Flores had an interesting talk about Mobius. He loved his backstory. He basically thinks he's an allusion to Odin with his two sons, the way they behaved had to be a reference to Loki and Thor.
I saw someone else wrote something about that too. I saw somewhere where they're saying he was an Odin, so maybe perhaps an Odin variant of Odin.
Right. My God. And then he wants a question. What would some of our variants be like? Is there a libtard Cody and a MAGA Jerry and Eddie? Who would win in a 3-on-3 Survivor Series style tag match? See, so, man, there's probably like ultra meathead versions of us.
Oh, I'm sure.
That would be like demolition. We wouldn't even need Cody. We wouldn't even need meathead Cody to join us. That's who'd win. No question. Wouldn't even need it. So thank you for the emails. You know where they got those emails, Eddie? You know where they ramble at the ramblepod.com. Okay, you're getting it now. You're getting it, right?
I'm getting it.
See? So which is, that's where you can email us. I don't know if you knew this either, pal, but we also we're on X at Podcast Ramble, the number 1, and we're on Instagram at Podcast Ramble. We're on YouTube at the Ramble Teeb. We have our merch page. We have we're still deadlocked at 140 5-star reviews. Nico Monkey is your 2-time champion right now, still on top. Subscribe to the Ramble. Give it a 5-star rating and a positive text review. All that. It's all just going to help.
All that good shit.
Let's pretend Cody's playing the music here.
Sure.
And Eddie, I don't know why you don't like this. I don't know how you could hear this song and be like, no, I don't like it. All alone at the end of the evening. Nothing. When the bright lights have faded to blue. This doesn't do anything for you. I was thinking about a woman who loved me. I never knew. You know, I've always been a dreamer. You can finish it. Spent my life running round, and it's so hard to change. Can't seem to settle down, but the dreams I've seen lately, nothing, Eddie. Keep turning out and burning out and turning out the same. So put me on a highway. Everyone, show me a sign and take it to the limit one more time. Nothing for that. No, you can't do it.
It's a sports chalet commercial.
Okay.
It's a sports chalet commercial.
Eagles or Kiss? Go. You have to sit through a concert. You have to sit through a concert, and you can't get up and leave.
I would
imagine
have to sit
through a concert.
If I don't off myself, I would imagine the Eagles concert would be less annoying than the Kiss show.
Because at least you don't have the Paul Stanley trying to, yay, everybody! You don't have any of that.
I don't have fireworks. I don't have fire. I don't have a guy in 12-inch platform heels.
Would you get annoyed at his little clever way of introing songs? Because for us, when we saw Kiss in Dallas, my buddies and I, he introduced Detroit Rock City. He goes, Dallas, Texas! We got a song about another city that starts with the letter D. And everybody's like, yeah. Then he did, what was it? Oh, God. Dallas, Texas is only one way to live life, and that's to rock and roll all night and party every day.
You're like, yeah! So shitty. I was walking to that trip to my big gulp hit the ground, so now I guess I gotta lick it up.
Yeah. Hey, you know what another phrase? You know what another thing we call a dick? A love gun. That would be better. Wouldn't that be better? You know what I like to say before I'm about to fuck? Call Dr. Love. That would be
so dumb.
That was one of my first jokes ever. Was as a 19-year-old on stage going, "What if Simon and Garfunkel did the same thing?" It always bombed, but I would still do it.
I think you should bring it back.
Thank you. Dallas, Texas, where we going to? Scarborough Fair. Where you gonna take me down to? Scarborough Fair. How great would that be if Kiss did that? I mean, hello. You ever try to travel over troubled water? You need a bridge, baby.
I know how you can tie that Simon and Garfunkel joke into your cancer set.
Uh-oh. I'm ready.
You say, okay, I have one make-a-wish. My make-a-wish.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Is this very first joke I told when I was 19 years old. And my make-a-wish was for me to say this joke and have the audience laugh at it.
And then that's it.
That's your closer.
That's what I'm doing. That's
your closer.
There it is.
You do it.
Bam.
You've already primed the audience to give you an over-the-top,
right?
An over-the-top applause break for it. Because they've heard your whole cancer story.
That's true. That's true.
And then you set that up, and that's your out.
Man, I love it. I love it. What do you think? You like it?
There's your closer.
We really like being here in Los Angeles, California, but we want to be homeward bound. Would you think you were having a stroke if you saw Simon and Garfunkel and they did that before every song? Would you really think you were having...
Like, what is that? What?
We hear all kinds of crazy noises, but nothing's like the sound of silence.
This is not Earth 616. We're on some other... This is 838. This has to be 838. Especially if they were in face paint.
Right.
Simon and Garfunkel in face.
Scarborough Fair, parsley, boom. Sage, boom, boom. Rosemary, boom, boom, boom. Our Garfunkel just spits blood after the boxer. Losing their shit.
Paul Simon just gets lifted up over top the crowd.
Feeling groovy.
Strumming an acoustic guitar.
Feeling groovy. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Woo, there we go. So, my God, so I was just in Bakersfield doing some shows, Eddie.
Did you see our boy Trent?
I did, and it was great to see Rambler
Trent.
But I forgot to ask Trent, why are you here? I forgot to ask him, why leave, Trent. You can leave. I've never been it was more surprising to see someone not on meth when I was walking around Bakersfield. It was I took an electronic vehicle, Eddie, and I stopped to charge it in Baker. Oh my God. I thought that was the only time I thought I need a gun. I need a gun to just stand here pointing at everyone who walks near the fucking
there's that old couple in fucking Florida, the fucking old people that during the Black Lives Matter protest. You're just standing there with your gun.
Yeah, just those old white pieces of shit just standing there. That's what I felt like I should be doing. It was so fucking, dude. It was so. I mean, I was expecting all the charging stations were filled, and they weren't even by people charging their car. They were just holding the chargers to their tongues. You know what I mean? So Trent, I love you, baby. Get the fuck out of there. Why do you? I'm sure he's got good reasons, but I'm just
Sure
saying.
it is. It's been a minute since I've driven through Bakersfield a lot, but it's been a
Sure.
minute since I've up there and performed. It's been several years.
It is a
since I've had
great
shows
show.
up there.
Crowd was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was
crowds
just-
are always fun every time I've been up there.
It was just like even the club itself, though. They're like, well, you can park in front of the room, or we have like an entrance for the comics in the back. And I was like, oh, should I park in the back? And then the door guy goes, yeah, it might be better to leave your car under the light here. And I was like, okay,
All right.
alrighty then. But yeah, dude. Okay, so I need to share something with the this happened. This is a story I told the night before last on my Twitchin stream, my Kick stream, my YouTube streaming. Eddie, that's Retro Rocha on Twitch and Kick, and just my name on YouTube as I play video games. Join me.
These are your father's video games.
These are you, like Eddie said, I play older games. Right now I'm playing a more modern game called Blasphemous, but it looks like a 16-bit game and it plays like Metroid. It's great.
Oh, that's fun.
It's great. But I was telling the story. And so I used to work in the music department. So I have a new segment I think we could do here.
Okay.
Where maybe we can share horror stories because you and I aren't really college degree 9-to-5 career guys.
No, we're not.
So thought maybe we can share stories from our days working retail or waiting tables or whatever.
I have a lot of service industry jobs. Yeah,
See?
I do a lot of service industry stuff.
And so when I was at Barnes & Noble in Dallas, Texas, I worked in the music department back when they had one, right?
Yeah.
Now, dude, the music department at a Barnes & Noble now, I don't know how people don't, there's nobody in there. You can just fucking steal everything you want. It's insane. But I was working the music department, and one day this guy walks in, and I don't know how else you describe him, Eddie. He looked like Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Okay.
But like if he were extremely Latino. Do you follow me on this? Like an extremely Latino, and he
like Willem Dafoe in Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yes, exactly.
Mexican Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
But Mexican.
Yes, and he kind of sounded like Dex. Like he walked in and he goes, do you know Baisha? Baisha. Do you know who that is?
No.
She's like a Polish pop singer.
Okay.
I guess she had her moment, dude, because every music store I've ever worked in, and I've worked at a bunch, the Baisha section has always been fully stocked. Like we have your Baisha needs.
That
right?
Baisha crew is coming through
and I don't know,
any moment now.
That's how he pronounced it. It's Basia. Basia. Baisha. He said Baisha. Basia. So
never heard of her.
So, and I go, oh yeah, Baisha. I was like, oh, that's how you pronounce it. I was just like in my head, like, oh yeah, she's right over here in our pop rock section. I can take you to her. And he goes, no, can you get a hold of her? I was like, I'm sorry. Like, he wanted to know if I knew. Was he? I wanted. Should I fucked with him and be like, oh, dude, she just left. You know what I mean?
You just missed her.
You just missed Baisha. She came in and she worked the afternoon shift. And yeah, she's gone.
I think she's back in on Wednesday.
She'll be back here Wednesday. I'm not allowed to say her hours to strangers, but he was like, do you know how to get a hold of Baisha? I swear this happened. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't know. I said, to be honest, I think she was with Columbia. I'm like, I don't even think a Columbia rep has set foot in here, and I was like, and then I swear to God, it goes, well, I've painted her.
Oh,
and I've written poems to her.
Oh God.
And I want to know if I can get them.
So he thought going in the music section of a Barnes & Noble is how you get a hold of your favorite pop star.
that you're gonna try to murder and eat. You're also gonna try to kill and eat after you, like that. So that's what I'm wondering, Eddie.
That's like going into a fucking lids and going, "Is Mahomes here?
Is
Patrick Mahomes here? Can I call him? Can I call Patrick Mahomes? Well, I'm sorry."
So was that his first try? That's what I want to know. Do you think that store was his first attempt?
I think you were in the middle of a long journey. I think you weren't at the beginning and you weren't at the end. You were in the middle of that long journey. You were a stop along the way.
If you're ready for this, Eddie, it gets better. It gets better.
Okay.
So he then goes, "Well, if I give you my card, if you ever get a chance, could you pass this along to her?" And I was like, "Sure." And he hands me his card, and it just had this word on it and a phone number. I said,
"What was the word?
Is this the name of your studio?" And he goes, "No, that's my name, Perfecto."
Perfecto.
I swear.
He's friends with Amazing Larry. You may know me and my buddy, Amazing Larry.
Who stops them? If that's a tag team, Perfecto and Amazing Larry.
Nobody. They run roughshod over everyone.
Who stops Perfecto and Amazing Larry? This motherfucker called himself Perfecto. He said his name was Perfecto.
Now, on the card, was it printed up or did he handwrite Perfecto?
It was printed.
Oh, so he had this made up. Wow.
Someone with a straight face said, "Okay, Perfecto, your card's ready."
You pay for it. You get whatever you want.
Here you go,
as long as the check clears.
Here you go, Perfecto. Okay, so do you think Perfecto's journey to Baisha, is it still happening? Or I don't think he's still alive. I'm going to say there's a 0% chance.
Was he an older man at the time?
I would say 40s, maybe.
So was this 20 years ago?
Yeah.
So probably 60-something?
60s now.
Perfecto. And is Baisha still alive, or
she's still alive.
She disappeared?
I looked it up. She's still alive. So either he never found her, or she just loves it. She just wakes up like every morning, like Scrooge McDuck. She just goes diving into a vat of Perfecto dick just every morning.
What would happen if you were like opening a magazine one time and you saw Baisha and Perfecto, and and you're like, he found her. It worked.
She was very charmed by his paintings and poetry of her.
Of Perfecto.
What do you think those paintings of Baisha? It couldn't have been anything flattering.
It's probably her severed head, I'm guessing. It can't be anything. Even if he tried to make them flatter, and there's no way they were flattering.
There's no way. Should I have called the FBI?
You probably should have passed that along to the authorities. Be on the lookout for Perfecto.
Perfecto!
His caravan of art and poetry.
Perfecto, that motherfucker! He named himself Perfecto. Oh, Trent Unruh had a good line on the stream, on my Twitch stream. He goes, "Was his last name Mundo?" And I was like, that should have been the best. That should have been it. Perfecto Mundo. Do we try to? If we could put it together, do we interview Perfecto on a Ramble? If we
can get him on the Ramble, do you still have the card?
No, I can't. I doubt it. Do we? But are you okay with this?
I'm fine with it as long as he doesn't know where either one of us live.
Right. Cody, we could tell him. We could tell him where Cody is.
Cody can pick him up from wherever he's at.
Oh, shit. Perfecto. A retail dispatch story. Perfecto. Got it. There's another one I want to tell, but I'll save it, right? I'll save it for another episode.
Okay, so I just looked up Perfecto.
Dallas?
I Googled Perfecto. No, well, there is a Perfecto de Castro, who is a Filipino musician currently based in Los Angeles.
That's not the guy. I mean, he would have been very against Filipino stereotype looks if that were him. He did not look Filipino, but hey, man, you never know. See, the only thing that came up when I went to, there's a guy who directs hip hop music videos, or he's a hip hop producer in Dallas called AC Da Perfecto. But not the same guy. That's AC Da Perfecto.
Yeah, I Googled Perfecto artist Dallas, and I'm not getting anything. So.
Let's see. I have bad news. I don't think Perfecto's still with us. He must be gone. Can I just say that? You know what I've never done is I've never looked up Perfecto Baisha. Should I do that?
Maybe you should. See if they finally got together.
Let's see. Anything? No. Fuck. It's just the Baisha song Perfect Mother by Baisha. Perfecto. That motherfucker. Perfecto. Well, Eddie, it's time for a goosebump moment. Are you ready to share that? Sure. Do you have one?
Yeah, I think I got one.
Mine was inspired by the ending of Marvels. And it took me back to a time. Well, yeah, it's kind of recent, but it was before everyone realized the guy was a massive shitbag, which is a bummer. But it was when Joss Whedon was writing The Astonishing X-Men. Did you read that run?
I did read that run. It's a good run.
Dude, first off, Colossus coming back from the dead.
Yeah.
And then they have to go to another planet. And throughout this entire run, Cyclops doesn't have his powers, right?
Right.
And then there's this, I mean, it was all culminates to the goosebump moment. Because then there's this moment where the X-Men are talking about their captor. Does he know about Leviathan? And they're like, no, he can't know about Leviathan. And then this evil alien guy who's kidnapped them all is he's monitoring him. And he's like, what the hell is Leviathan? So he purposely kills Cyclops. And Cyclops he's on a ship, and his ship purposely gets shot. Cyclops, his lifeless body gets ejected into space, and this thing captures it. Okay. And you find out there is in that episode, the next issue, there's a flashback to the conversation where the X-Men talk about how this guy can't find Leviathan. Right. And before they say it, Cyclops just looks at Emma Frost and he thinks, okay, Emma, link us. And so she telepathically links all the X-Men. And so they're like, okay, Cyclops is like, look, I'm going to have to sacrifice my own life, but he's going to bring me back from the dead because he can already revive the dead. He brought Colossus back. Right. And he's like, so we have to get, and that's how I can get inside and infiltrate this guy. Right. And he goes, but we have to come up with something that he doesn't know. Has to have a bit dumb name. And then someone says Leviathan. Perfect. That's it. He can't find out about Leviathan. You know what I mean? And then they're all thinking it. And then the guy brings Cyclops back to life in the operating table. And he looks at him and he goes, what's Leviathan? And then that's when Cyclops is like, he basically tells him, we got you, buddy. There's no Leviathan. And then, dude, it was maybe my favorite X-Men moment ever. Is a top 5, no question. The head of this alien team looks at Cyclops and goes, oh, lies, the great human invention. any other lies, anything else you're keeping from me? And then Cyclops just opens his eyes and blasts the fuck out of him. And then because he realized that's what got his powers back, being revived from dying. And so he knew it would give him his powers back. And he just blasts the fucking guy. And the final shot of the issue is just Cyclops, like with just his eyes are just steaming. And he's like, all right, to me, my X-Men. The best, fucking amazing. Fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. Do you have a goosebump moment?
How do you mess up Cyclops in the movies? I don't understand.
Right? So
I mean, I know you put all your eggs in the Wolverine basket when Ryan says what's his face made the X-Men movies.
You have to.
I got
Cyclops
is that movie's so much better, and the whole X-Men movies are so much better if you have Wolverine and Cyclops like really going at it head to head, like
all the time,
not just being this wimpy chode and then Wolverine.
What's great is I forgot who it might have been. It might have been a Grant Morrison run of X-Men, but there was a great line where Cyclops and Wolverine or with someone else, and they're getting drunk at a bar, and Cyclops is so drunk he passes out, and then Wolverine is like, kind of as drunk as he can get with his healing factor, and he looks at someone and he goes, "Hey man, I may not always like the guy, but there's no one else I'd rather follow than him," and like that's it. That's it. There it is. Like Cyclops is right. If Captain America goes down, he's your next leader of a Marvel team, of any
in the
Marvel
MCU
team.
They portrayed, Steve Rogers perfect. Chris Evans did a great Steve Rogers. Like you believed you would follow that dude.
That's Cyclops. It's just
Steve they didn't Rogers. Do that with Cyclops,
right? He can't throw a punch like Captain America, but he can fucking blast you with laser eyes.
Yeah,
and he's the same guy. He's the one, the best leader. You follow him into. I mean, who's left at the end? It's Cyclops and Captain America and Infinity Gauntlet. They're the last two standing. That's it for a reason. Oh man!
All right. My goosebump moment happened. It actually happened to me. This isn't something I read or something I watched. This was a personal experience that gave me actual goosebumps. I may have told the story here or another podcast I was on. I may have told. I don't remember. But anyway, this is it. I was 1987.
Oh my God! Look at this.
So I was in 8th grade.
Yeah,
I was 8th grader.
Yeah.
My dad took me. This was mid-season. Washington Redskins at the time. I went to RFK Stadium. I watched my favorite quarterback at the time. My favorite team was the Redskins, of course. My favorite quarterback, Jay Schrader, was my
the great Jay Schrader.
The blonde bomber, the great Jay Schrader. He had taken over the year previous when Theismann famously broke his leg.
Yeah.
Mid-season. Schrader took over. He was 2 years in '85, and then he took the Washington football team to the NFC Championship in '86.
Yep.
'87, they were supposed to be a favorite to win the Super Bowl. So Schrader's having an up and down year, right? So we go into the Detroit game. My dad takes me to the game. I'm RFK Stadium. They're playing the Detroit Lions. Again, historically not a good team.
Right.
There's some struggle going on. Washington's not. I think they may be losing at the time, or it's tied to Detroit. And then Joe Gibbs pulls Jay Schrader from the game. Puts in Doug Williams.
Oh!
Right?
Were you heartbroken?
I was I literally, because I was nothing against Doug Williams, and I eventually learned to love Doug Williams, especially after Super Bowl 22.
Oh, my God.
But at the time, heartbroken, because that was I had a number 10 jersey on.
Schrader
I was all in on Jay Schrader. So I'm sitting there in RFK, just sitting in the seat, not even watching the game anymore. The crowd's going crazy because Doug Williams leads us on a comeback. We beat the Detroit Lions. RFK is bouncing up and down, and I'm like fucking Lieutenant Dan at New Year's Eve. There's just confetti falling on me, and I'm just sad. I'm Lieutenant Dan on New Year's Eve, right? My dad's happy because we won the game. He's trying to get me like, hey, we won. That's great. I'm like, I know. We go home that night. I think Joe Gibbs in the press conference made an announcement that Doug Williams will be the starter for the foreseeable future, right? So I go home that night and I write a letter to Jay Schrader. Tell him how much you're my favorite player.
Yeah.
I know you're good. You're going to be back one day. You're going You're going to start again for Washington. And I drew him a picture. I drew a picture of him throwing the football, right? As best as I could for an eighth grader. I don't know I don't have his address, so we live near Redskin Park at the time. Like you could drive there where the training facility was. So my mom drove me there, and I dropped the letter off at the front desk. Right. That's it. That's okay. It's done. Right. Whenever kid sends a letter to Santa Claus, it doesn't go anywhere. Right. It's in a pile forever.
Right.
So 2 weeks later, or the following week, I think Washington plays the Rams on Monday Night Football. We end up losing that game to the Rams, right? And then I'm broken, and then I'm crushed because my team lost, plus my favorite player's not playing, and I'm like, they got to put Jay back in, right? Whatever. So I guess the following week, Doug Williams got hurt in practice. He hurt his back on a treadmill.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play. So Washington was playing the Giants the following week. Arch rival Giants,
Bill
game. Parcells,
especially back in the 80s, man.
Yeah.
That was
Jay Schrader has got the start because Doug Williams got hurt. So Jay's back in. Washington is down at halftime 17-0 in that game. Jay Schrader leads a huge comeback. They end up winning. Washington wins the game, right?
Look at that.
So Washington is like full playoff push now. They're going for the playoffs, right? And we all know what happens at the end of the season. He gets benched in Minnesota. Doug Williams plays this playoffs, and then Doug Williams wins the Super Bowl, first black quarterback, MVP, whatever.
Hey, man, so Jay got a ring.
That was all great.
Jay got a ring.
Great. Jay got a ring. But up to that point, they're doing the playoff push. They just beat the Giants. He's opening up his restaurant, the Jay Schrader All-Pro Restaurant.
Oh, look at this.
Because that's what you did in the 80s when you were a famous quarterback. You opened a restaurant in your hometown. So he's having a big opening night party, and so we hear on the radio, I'm like, Mom, we got to go. I got to go see Jay Schrader. So we go see Jay. We go to the party, and it's just filled with football players. It's just everywhere. It's my mom and myself and my brother, and it's just football players everywhere. And I see Jay Schrader at a booth with his wife, and I think it was either Russ Grimm or it was one of the Hogs. I forget which one. They were all sitting in a booth. And I'm like, my mom's like, yeah, go say hi, because I guess he's signing autographs or whatever. So I go up to him, and I go, hey, hi, and then I go put my napkin out saying, I'm too frozen to say anything.
Of course.
My mom goes, my son wrote you a letter a few weeks, about a month ago, like that, and then it you see a light bulb go off in Jay Schrader's eyes. He goes, and he points like, you drew me a picture. And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
He'd read the letter, and I guess he's, that meant the world to me, and thank you so much. And I got goosebumps. I was like, I was just frozen. And my mom actually snapped a photo at the time. I actually have a still photo somewhere of the moment Jay Schrader's pointing at me with his eyes going, it's you, that. It's hilarious.
You gotta frame that.
It's hilarious.
That's fucking amazing.
It's fucking
wow.
I mean, it's not like it was fucking Joe Montana. It was Jay Schrader.
Hey, man.
It's not a Hall of Famer, but at the time, it was a Hall of Famer.
Does he get credit for forcing the world to pronounce Schrader? Does he get credit for that?
He might be the only Schrader pronounced Schroeder.
Where it's spelled Schroeder. It's pronounced Schrader.
He might be the only one.
That's because that was the biggest anomaly with it. But hey, man, he got the ring. That's all.
The ring, baby.
Did he go to the Raiders or some shit after that? Wasn't he a Raider for a minute?
He got traded that following offseason after they won the Super Bowl. They traded him straight up for Jim Lachey, who's like a all-time world left tackle.
Yep.
And then Schrader played a few years with the Raiders. Right. Lachey went on to win Super Bowl 26 with the Redskins.
Yep.
And then Schrader bounced around to I think he was on the Bengals a couple times.
Oh, wow.
He bounced around a little bit.
I just remember Washington and the Raiders for Schrader. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Schrader's
and also he was not Schroeder.
I thought that was
Dude, that's a great one, man. God, that's now.
Oh, there it is. I found the photo.
There it is. Oh, dude, that's too fucking cool.
That's him pointing like, hey, it's you.
Badass. That's so fucking badass, man. That's great. Look at that. We got to get him on the Ramble.
I think we almost got him on my old Swings and Misses show.
Does he live here? Does he live in LA?
He's from California. He's a native Ccalifornian. And I think he lives like deep valley. He was like a high school football coach.
Fuck, we got to make this happen. We got to get Jay Schrader on the Ramble. That'd be fucking great. So, Eddie, this is where it gets hard.
What?
This is our segment. We now have to defend. We have to play the devil's advocate and defend the debut of the Shockmaster.
Okay.
Can you do this? Can you Kellyanne Conway the Shockmaster?
I think we can. I think we can. I think we can do this.
You really think?
I think we have the angle. I think we've touched on this angle before.
I have two things that I can give you three. Can I give you my three things and then you go?
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here at least we have on the air and on record forever Booker T muttering, "Who is this motherfucker?" After the guy falls down and collapses.
And his helmet rolls off.
And was this, I'm sorry, real quick, was this pre or post Tugboat Thomas?
Oh, way pre. This is
right.
Pre Tugboat.
So basically dressing him up like a 3-year-old being dressed up as a sailor was the least embarrassing thing that happened to this guy.
Was a step up for what he had done before.
So number one for me is that I can defend. At least we have Booker T saying, "Who is this motherfucker?" on a hot mic. Another thing is it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
How cocky Sting is bringing him out, and then how Sting says not a fucking word the rest of the promo.
He just fucking ghosts his buddy. I didn't bring that guy.
And then of course, third, and I'm saving the best for last. You have, I mean, Sid Vicious should have won an Oscar for his.
That's my defense right there. Is you truly saw who the best actor was out of that group.
Sid Vicious was incredible.
It's Sid Vicious. Sting was the belle of the ball for WCW.
Yes,
and he couldn't deal with the moment.
Him and the British Bulldog are just like, okay.
Bulldog was smart enough to keep his back to the camera the whole time.
I guarantee Bulldog was just doing this the whole fucking time.
He was like, he was wide-eyed going, "What the fuck is happening?"
I mean, was there ever, if there was an Apollo 13 in pro wrestling, if there was ever a failure is not an option moment, it was Sid Vicious going, "I have to save this promo no matter what. I have to save."
He gets them back to Earth. He literally rescues that listless spacecraft adrift in space.
I have to save this.
And pilots that fucker back.
You don't. As the guy is just on his knees trying to find his helmet, Sid Vicious is like, "You don't scare me."
Completely committed, doesn't change, doesn't acknowledge what happens.
We need to have him on we got to try to get him on the Ramble just to talk about that.
Which sucks because Sid Vicious or Sid Justice or whatever you want to call him, any iteration, Psycho Sid, he got a push, but he never got the push he deserved after that performance.
He was the best heel, I think, as far as just attitude. My God.
And physical intimidation. Those shoulders were friggin' out to he was shoulder pads.
He was as big as Hogan. It was that guy was, oh man. Yes, that should have been, this guy gets carte blanche, whatever he wants, because he saved that pro.
He got Apollo 13 back to Earth.
He really did.
He did.
The failure is not an option, and it was
Sting was in the corner crying.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what to do.
British
Booker
Bulldog,
T.
Who's this motherfucker?
Booker T was he dropped all kayfabe and just became himself. He's like, what the fuck is happening?
Was that Booker T and Stevie Ray with Sid Vicious?
Yeah.
That was, right? I think
the Harlem Heat, I believe.
Harlem Heat was just like, what the fuck is happening?
And then Bulldog just panicked and just stood there with his back to the camera.
They're like, uh-oh. And then
Sid Vicious is the only one. I got this, guys. Don't worry. I'll sell this shit. I'll sell this big fucking pile of elephant shit laying on the floor right now. That's how you defend it. You saw who your best person was.
You saw who clearly the best guy was, because you know what the sad thing is. Do you mind if I can I give you a hot take on the Shockmaster's debut?
Okay.
More embarrassing if it goes off without a hitch. I think that's even more embarrassing if he didn't trip. And if it's just some
more embarrassing,
some guy just walks out with the stormtrooper helmet on and is like, "I will destroy you." That would have been more embarrassing than
it would have probably been, but I think ultimately would have been forgotten.
Right. It just exactly.
There were so many bad WCW, the Vinny Vegas, Oz. There were so many horrible characters created. I mean, Van Vader's big fucking helmet he had that he had to wear out all the time. That big fucking bull helmet or whatever it was. They had so many stupid things. It just would have been in that pile of stupid things and not remembered.
You had The Undertaker, and you just called him Mean. That was
Mean
all
Mark
you
Callis.
did. You just named
with
him.
The heart punch.
Why don't we just call him Mean? How about his gimmick is he's mean?
He's mean, and he punches you in the heart.
Oh God, I think we did it. I think Sid Vicious is what defended, and what saved that Shockmaster debut.
And the fact that he tripped and fell made it memorable, because otherwise it's just for another forgotten gimmick.
Yeah,
in the long history of awful gimmicks from WCW.
Now, next Ramble, Eddie, 370, which I don't know what's going to happen, because that's when Ramble Radio is going to catch up after this airs. We're going to have 2 369s. I don't know how I like that.
That's weird.
Do I just absorb it all?
Do we? I mean, do
we just add them all together?
It'd be over 800 plus episodes.
Do they just become another Ramble?
800 plus episodes.
Right.
We're barreling towards 1,000.
So right now we're at we'd be at 738 after this and Fridays, right? So then is the next Ramble just 739 and Ramble Radio 740? I don't know.
Maybe the Ramblers have some input. I don't know.
Maybe Ramble at the ramblepod.com. Ramble 370 though, Eddie. We're gonna just get a quick teaser for you, the viewer, you, the listener. We're gonna have our Super Nintendo game that should have been, and this one is gonna be Brent Musburger masturbates to Shannon Tweed movies.
You need the power pad for this one?
Yeah, you might. You might.
Or the power glove.
The power glove. Now, here's my question: is do we talk about the darkest hour and what we think our darkest hour for Star Wars was?
Oh,
that could be good, huh? That could be good.
That could be good. There's several.
So I think we'll do a Star Wars darkest hour, and I think either we're going to do it or we do it for the next one. But I think we also do a going deep. Remember how we talked about Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
I say we aim our sights even higher. Commando.
Oh.
That's what I think.
Let's delve into that one.
Let's do Brent Musburger masturbates to Shannon Tweed movies for the Super Nintendo. The darkest hour in Star Wars history. And going deep, Commando. Wow. Huh? Why don't they just call him Girl George? It would end all the confusion. Can you imagine how excited all our listeners must be right now, Eddie?
Oh, dude.
Can you imagine? God. Well, there we go. That was the Ramble. You know where to find us. You know where to love us. Do all those things. We will be back Friday.
Let us know what to do with the Ramble Radio sitch.
Yeah.
We don't know what's happening.
We're in a tight sitch here. So let us know. All right. All right. We love you guys. Stay safe out there. Until next time. Adios a todos. We'll see you another time Friday.